all the top seeds in action on day 9 of the French Open. Well, all of them dropped a set except Novak Djokovic. He did not drop a set in his game. We're looking at Serena Williams, Roger Federer, Rafael Nadal, and of course, Maria Sharapova and Petra Kvitova. They did not survive that 4th round. Hello and welcome to Sports This Morning. I'm Cecilia Morgben. You're watching Sports This Morning. Now let's just take a look at the major headlines. Of course, we're starting with the Flying Eagles. The news still reaching us is that Joshua Enaholo's lack of focus and wet ball actually cost the Flying Eagles their opening game loss. And Coach Man Garba is not happy with that. Is he going to change him in the next game? That's something we really need to find out. And also on the program, New York Cosmos hits the training field in Havana ahead of their historic match against Cuba's national team, the first by an American football club since 1978. Also on the program, we'll be talking about, well, the French Open, of course, is a dream quarterfinal. And of course, he's finally here. Novak Djokovic, 10 previous appearances at the Roland Garros. Well, his title hopes have actually been dashed by Rafael Nadal 6 times. If you're now going to take a look at the last 3 years, it's been in a row. So whenever he gets to meet Rafael Nadal at the French Open, he gets to lose. What's going to happen tomorrow? That's what we'll find it on the program. If Novak Djokovic will finally overcome Rafael Nadal when it comes to playing at the French Open. Now, you may have seen the skills and the threes of the Channels National Kids Cup Season 7, but there's some actions that you did not see. The coaches, the way they were displaying, what the spectators couldn't see while the games were going on. Now, this report by Austin O'Connor actually takes a look at some of those actions.
Let's begin with the Lagos preliminaries. Defending champions Toy Bats met stiff opposition in Daem School, and the coaches felt the heat. During the penalty shootout, Coach Olowo Okiribankole didn't have the heart to watch. He could only pray. At the national finals, Coach Sheyi Oyinloye also provided some interesting drama. Let's go to Akwa Ibom. After speaking in English and a goal still not coming, Coach Ofonime Thompson rolled out some Ibibio. Coach Dikko Latunji from Osun State will pass any drama audition. There was never a dull moment with this coach.
First ball! First ball! First ball! Go up! Yes! Ah! Matthew! Matthew! Give me my biggie!
Coach Wilson from Edo also brought some good comic relief with the way he communicated with his players.
Hello, sir! Who pursue you, Matthew?
Team Delta enjoyed a good ride until they met Edo in the semis, and that was the first time Coach Jolomi spoke out.
Attack! 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 Go, 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 go! Fight!
Yes, the kids make their coaches yell and sometimes frustrated, but all said and done, we love the excitement and joy that the Channels National Kids Cup brings. Austin Okonakpan reporting for Channels Television News.
That's some of the actions you get to see, or rather some of the things you didn't see while you were watching the kids play on the field of play. I think the coaches actually played a crucial role in that, and if only one man Garba was busy shouting on Joshua Enaholo, if he was a little boy, maybe he wouldn't have made those two mistakes twice when he now said it was the wet ball that actually made him, well, couldn't get a grip of the ball and he slipped into the net. Tayo Salam is here. Tayo, good morning.
Yeah, Cecilia, management is not easy. Believe me, coaching, it's not easy at all. You can see all those emotions actually displayed by the coaches. I can imagine it's even harder when you coach kids.
Kids, yes.
Yeah, it's a lot harder. But
what was the coach for me? I think in primary school telling if if Odion was a little, I mean, he's in primary school.
That's what happens when the occasion gets the better of you, and he just didn't know what to say. I'm sure if you go ask him again, I probably doesn't remember.
If he gets to watch this thing, I mean, he will be like, was that me? He wouldn't even know if he was the one shouting on the kids.
Pressure.
Like that.
That's what pressure can do to you, Cecilia. You can imagine what all these managers go through, coaches of national teams. Imagine what Keshi goes through, giving instructions, tactical instructions, and players going to the pitch and do something totally different. You can imagine they want to tear the heads off sometimes.
Yeah.
But that's
I
the
just
game.
remember something. And maybe that's the reason Silas Ferguson actually had to throw a show on David Beckham. And then he just started. He bottled it up and he just couldn't help it when he was talking to the player. The player was really responding, so he had to like.
It's all part of it. I can imagine if someone can give us like a
behind the
scenes of what goes on in the professional football clubs, in the dressing rooms of the professional football clubs, either during halftime or after the games. You can imagine what we're going to see. It's going to be a cracker.
Definitely.
Yeah.
With their kids, and of course, at the end of the day, it was a Yanuge Primary School. I had to go home with the trophy. FA boasted and said, we're going to do that. And of course, well, he came to pass. Congratulations once again to Yanuge Primary School from Edo State. Okay. Now, let's talk about the Flying Eagles. Of course, you know, the match is going to be on Thursday, but we'll keep talking about them until that game and until we ensure that, well, they really have 3 points in the kitchen and see how they can win it the next game. And, of course, go on to qualify from the group. Nobody really sees this group as a group of death. From all indications right now, when you're having Hungary beating North Korea by 5-1 and the Flying Eagles are losing by 4-2 to Brazil, then is a tough task. Now, for Manu Garba,
yes,
it said something about what he's going to do, you know, for their next game. Before that, you can talk to us on Twitter and, of course, on Facebook. We asked some questions yesterday. If you feel, well, Joshua Enaholo should be dropped, you know, from the squad because everyone is putting the blame on him and no one is looking at the defense line or whether maybe the midfield was choked or maybe the attackers were actually falling over each other. No one is looking at that, but they are all looking at Joshua Enaholo. I just wouldn't want to be in his shoes right now. Do you think he can continue with the next game for the Flying Eagles? That's a big question because of the mistakes he made wasn't really too cool. Now, this is what Manu Garba actually said on FIFA.com after the game. He says it's a huge disappointment. We carved out the better chances in the first half and we should have led at the break. The first 45 minutes reflected what we are capable of. We simply made 2 mistakes. And that actually cost us dearly in the second period. All in all, we played our part in a really great match, and I would like to congratulate Brazil on their victory. They are a very good team. That's coming from Manu Garba, the Flying Eagles coach.
Yeah, spot on, Cecilia. Obviously, at the under-20 level, it's not the very top of football, but it shows you a lot is at stake in the game as well, too, because even at the under-20 level, if you make mistakes, your opponents will exploit it. They will capitalize on it, and that's what we saw in that game against Brazil. Like I said the other time, Nigeria played well in the first half. We had the upper hand. We didn't really take our chances, and second half came and mistakes started creeping into the game, and Brazil fully took advantage of it. We're going to go back to those 2 goals again in the second half. Obviously, the goalkeeper, even though I belong to the goalkeeping union as well, so you can understand if I don't want to pick on him too much, as a goalkeeper too. But then you can't deny he was culpable, for those 2 goals. The first one, I think he misjudged the shots because it just went past him. He probably thought that the shot was going to go past the post. So by the time he reacted,
he was absent-minded. If you can get his quote, he actually said he was absent-minded at that time. His mind was off the game. Okay, my mind was off. The ball was wet, and I just couldn't get my grip properly. I must do better in the next game.
That's I presume that's for the last goal. That's the one that he displayed butterfingers. Yeah, that's what they call it in goalkeeping, butterfingers, and he just allowed the ball drop. And allowed a very easy tap-in for the Brazilian forward in that one. But the first one I was talking about was the shot. He misjudged it. He thought it was going to go past the post, but then it was actually going to the net. By the time he dove for the ball, it was too late. And so we can't take that away. He made mistakes in that game. It's a shame. It happens to the best of goalkeepers as well. So so he just has to bounce back. Really good. Yeah, because we're going into the
drop. There's no point, right?
I don't know. We don't know what the form of Dele Alan Paso is. That's the other goalkeeper.
He'll only be playing, consistent football.
Exactly, and I want to believe
he's going on trials across the world, and
he hasn't been really stable. You know, there's no stability to his game right now. So I want to believe Manu Garba has chosen the best goalkeeper in Enao to keep for Nigeria, and hopefully if he can cut out those mistakes in the next game against North Korea, then it'll be good for Nigeria because he's a very good goalkeeper.
Okay, well, hey, Shibi, that's your view. Okay, now it's 4 days to go for the FIFA Women's World Cup. Of course, the Super Falcons continued the training on Sunday. They were actually on a break after that Nigeria thrashing of Woodgate. And yesterday they resumed training. And one of their opponents, United States, they will definitely be arriving Canada today. And United States, their last warm-up game was at home against South Korea. That game ended goalless. So you would say Super Falcons, well, the last game, warm-up game, they get to play another. We're not sure they're going to get to play another game again. We're not sure about that. But the last warm-up game, so to speak, against a club side ended 9-0. And for the Americans, their last warm-up game against another national team, who is also at the World Cup, ended goalless. Well, remember the Super Falcons also played Canada before they played Woodgate, and that one was goalless. Well, he would say one is actually scoring more goals than the others, but you can't compare both teams on that. But for Coach Edin Ocon, he says that after watching the sides play, he's happy with what they actually brought to the table. And another thing, he believes that the defense were not really too tested, but the strikers were scoring, and that is what he really wants to see next week. That's next week, Monday. Yes, when they get to play Sweden, that's June the 8th. Wow, it's just so close. And that's what he really wants to see.
Yeah, Cecilia, like I told you yesterday, I'm just going to wait to see the girls actually play the first match before I can reach any kind of conclusions about how ready they are. But then we can't deny that we've got some really exciting girls in this team, really exciting players. Apart from the very obvious one, Asisa Shwola and then Okparanoze, I'm talking of the likes of Courtney DK, Inea Bassi. Let's get really young girls that are very good, very exciting players. So I really can't wait to see them play for the Falcons. For me, if they end up, not doing too well at the tournaments, I wouldn't really feel too bad because I know what they went through, to get ready for the tournament itself. So, but I'm going to enjoy it. I'm going to enjoy the individual performances of those girls I just mentioned now.